cart the grains back to the silo on the farm is probably a good plan. Wow, 3,000 exactly. Nice. Buying land. You could buy land on a loan, because if you get into dire straits, you can sell that land for what you paid for it. Yes, unrealistic, but the way the game works. If you buy a tractor with a loan and drive the tractor for an hour, that tractor's going to lose, depending on how much tractor you bought, you know, 5,000, 25,000, 50,000 money. So you can never sell the tractor for the same amount you bought it. With seasons running, you've got a 30-minute window where you can buy a piece of equipment, you can try it out and say, oh, this sucks, and sell it. So that's actually what happened to 2 seeders that I bought on this map. I bought a seeder, I tried to put it in the barn, and what was supposed to be 360-degree rotatable wheels on it, so there's nothing on here, didn't rotate at all, or didn't rotate more than 90 degrees each way, so I couldn't get the thing reversed into a shed. So I sold it for the same amount that I bought it for. It was basically a, yeah, this doesn't really work for my farm. I bought a second one and it decided to, due to graphics or game glitches, drive itself through the barn wall without a tractor attached. So I sold that as well for no loss of money, because I'd had it less than 30 minutes. And then we bought the Lemkin, which is an in-game seeder and I know works very well. So that's what we're going to be using for this playthrough. I had a similar problem in Farm Sim 17 with, there's the Kronex Cargo, which is a big what do you call it, forage harvester with a trailer on the back, and it would not sit still when you turn, for any reason. So unless it was driving down the field normally, like I am at the moment, the trailer portion would skitter sideways. And the problem was, if you're trying to unload the thing, you've got a truck pulled alongside and you're trying to tip the forage into the truck, and the trailer's jittering away from the truck until it's not pouring anymore, and you had to get back in the truck and maneuver the truck round. And of course, because it's jittering away from the truck, it's jittering into the existing the existing crop, so it's destroying the crop as well. So sort of it's not fit for purpose. Now I don't know if it was that mod, it was the map, or what, but I didn't get enough lime again. I'm trying not to end up with this spreader full of lime when I'm done. But you do use a lot of lime. Let's see if we can nope, turn off, there we go. Okay, we got most of that done. Another thing you have to watch with mod maps is some of the mod maps, if you play New Farmer, which is the easy level, technically easy level, you get the farm yard. You get equipment, you get the farmyard, you get everything. Very handy. Now some map makers, if you pick Start from Scratch or Farm Manager, you don't get any farm buildings in the farmyard. And with some mod makers, that means that you can't ever have the farmyard in the style that they've designed the map for. I am going to be short. Ugh. It is all gone. Lime is quite useful because it lasts for 3 harvests, so I am going to get another 1,000 litres and we'll finish that corner. So yes, this particular map, no matter what you start with, you always the farmyards are fixed. I can't delete any buildings. I can add buildings if there's space for them, but I can't change the layout of the farm. I am stuck with the way the map maker designed it. Now there are 2 maps that I know of: Mercury Farms and the Old Stream Farm, where the map maker has basically said if you start with loads of money and no land, the yards do not have any buildings in them. The yards exist, but they're just a large area of flat ground you can put buildings on. However, packaged in the map as some of the purchasable assets are buildings in the style of the map, and you can actually completely rebuild the farm if you have the patience that you would get in New Farmer. Now other maps, I mean the one I've tried was Mercury Farm, Marwell Manor. If you start New Farmer, the farm is all built for you, but if you start any other startup, excuse me, press the right button, then the farm isn't there and you don't have the assets to rebuild it. And that's a shame. Now I'll accept this, this map, okay, this is good, but when you look at the assets that are available base game, I can put any regular animal pen down. These here are all mods. Don't know why I've got those loaded. I guess there's a reason somewhere. You get this equipment, these placeables here. I've got more, but these are all mods. I've got silos. You've got a small silo, a big silo, an extension, a hayloft, and then silage bunkers. And I've got more stuff there, which are mods. Decorations, I think there's a sandcastle. This is all the American assets. So you've got static buildings that don't serve any function. There's the Easy Shed Pack. I've got a couple of other sheds, mods. And there's the farmhouse. But you look at all of the base game assets that I have, none of them match this style of this style of building. So as you drive around the map and you're driving through villages and you've got rustic country buildings, and then you've got the regular game assets to add to your farm. And in some ways that it affects the feeling of the map. The map doesn't feel right because you're playing in rural France, and then I've got these out of place structures in my farmyard, and I would much prefer to be able to place regular buildings of a similar style. if I'm playing in an American map, you kind of want a red barn, because that's classic American country. Oh, that's okay. Just wondering, that's my tractor's mud tracks in the grass that's distracting me. So I'm getting to the point where if you're going to make me a map, just leave everything there, make the yards cost me money commensurate with their size and the buildings placed in them. Don't worry that I may be about to place new buildings. Just treat it like Farm Sim 17. Everything's there, except you don't have it unless you buy the land it's on. I'm happy with that. But if you're going to take away the farm on a farm manager or start from scratch mode, then give me some assets that look like the buildings. Over there we've got a nice village that has a style of the area, so I kind of want to build farm buildings that have the style of the area. Okay, we've got lots of lime in here now. There I missed, so we've got a load of lime now, so we'll do that bit too. I think that is pretty much done. Why am I here? I have the cedar. Okay. So I think... Oh, we need to cultivate. We didn't cultivate yet. I'll take the Breedle back down to the yard. And around we go. But this all goes back to part of the conversation we were having last week. When I play the game, I want a plan. So at the moment I'm kind of learning the map, I'm learning the and every map's different, but I'm learning the economies of this map. So how much money am I going to make from harvesting those fields? Because that money needs to cover everything I've bought for the farm, maintenance wise, and it needs to allow me to buy new stuff, maintain all the equipment I have and stuff like that. So if I want to buy new fields, I want to know that the land I've got produces crop sufficient that I can expand the farm. Then I'm winning. Then it becomes, what are the goals of playing this particular map? So Lawfolds, my goal was get all of the in-game achievements completed, and in part, oh yes, fertilizer. In part, that is going to be a goal of this playthrough. But you also need other goals as well. Get out of the way, tree. There we go. So, I think what I'll do is I'll take this down to the store reset point, and unload it, and then we'll reload with all that fertilizer. So I think when we put the main crop down, we will fertilize again with this thing. Because I want to use up all of that solid fertilizer. So okay, where did it go? Oh, okay, it went over there. Okay. On other farms I have, yeah, I want to grow a sheep farm, or I want to grow a pig farm, or I want to grow a chicken farm, or I want to see how much money I can make on a small farm. And it's just, you know, just have some reason to do it. So, yeah, I'm not going to play with cows this time, or I'm not going to play with horses ever, or whatever you want. Or this farm I'm going to plant potatoes. I'm going to do root crops on this farm and see how far we get. Mercury Farm, when I played that early on, that wasn't really a... it was kind of goalless, but it was a farm I didn't play in 17, so I figured, well, it might be worth playing that farm. One of the fields I bought had potatoes on it, so I just decided I'm going to perpetually grow potatoes on this farm. So every time I harvested, I immediately put the potatoes into the planter, planted the next field, and once the next field was planted, I sold all of the excess potatoes. And I just did that for that farm, just to see how bad doing potatoes actually is. Frankly, not that bad if you're playing, you know, if you've got a small field. Being a potato harvester or farmer is not a big deal. Planting potatoes in a field that size can get old real fast. Although if you play it, once again, if you're playing with seasons, it's not that bad. Because you've got years, you know, you've got time between harvests. So maybe we'll look at doing... Why is that still open? Oh, because there's still a crate in the hedge. There we go. So that's all of the fertilizer loaded. We'll stick this back in the corner. But you could do, I'm going to play a Kansas farm just planting corn, or I'm going to play a Iowa farm planting potatoes, or whatever. I'm going to play a dairy farm. I'm going to play a beef cattle farm. Take your pick. But yeah, have some reason to play, because I think otherwise you just end up with I don't have any goals for this playthrough, so I'm kind of bored with this map now, so I'll move on to something else. And you haven't even reached harvest yet, you just, yeah, time to play a different map. There is the potential to use this area to store root crops in. So if we do go into potatoes, that may be a thing. What am I doing here? We're going to get the cultivator, which is in this shed here. Bent the door. Runners. So the Valtra's here. We've got this on the back of this one. We've got the seeder on the back of the other tractor. I think that's all the equipment we have out at the moment. But yeah, you'll notice all of the equipment I currently have is usable for startup. So I've got a plough, I've got a cultivator, I've got a seeder. All equipment that I'm going to use during spring, getting the fields planted. I've got a couple of fertilizers. I got a lime spreader which can be used as a fertilizer spreader, which we can use until the crop gets big. And we have a sprayer which currently loaded with herbicide. I don't have any liquid fertilizer at this point. And that's all we're going to need for summer too. Now, once summer's done, we're going to need a harvester, we're going to need a bunch of other stuff, and at that point we're then looking at spending more money on equipment. So normally I'm going to lease that equipment so that it's not a permanent cost, and leasing is a lot cheaper than purchase, but not in the long run. Okay, we unfold that. I'm going to lower it and pull onto the field. I'm going to try and line up with those lines.